Ready payment on demand. Let's see how it goes. Okay, we'll put in our password. Off we go. As you can see, it doesn't take very long to get into the server, and it's ready to rock. It's on a solid state drive on the Amazon cloud. Is quite quick, and we're going to load Cybershaman now. There it is. First thing we want to do is we want to click on View so that we can see what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and load some presets this time, and then on the next video I will actually load them without being presets. In other words, I will write them as we go along. But this is just so you can see how easy it is to operate. So we'll select chakra balance, psychic protection, release negativity. After it loads one, it moves on to the next tab. If you look down here underneath these gray squares, you'll see that there are numbers. Right now the number 4 is lit up in red, which means that's the tab that we're working on right now, and we're about to load to it, which happens to be spiritual awakening. Now we'll load the 5th, relieve stress. 6 will be clustered water. The 7th will be find your soulmate. The 8th will be financial abundance. The 9th will deal with work, and they get a promotion. Again, increase in salary. And now about some luck. Good luck in general. And let's say you like to play poker. We'll pick good luck in gambling. I think I had poker in there, but anyway, that's a full 12 session Cybershaman loaded up on the server, ready to go. Now let's take a look at how much memory we're utilizing. We'll look at the task manager, and you'll see that Cybershaman is actually only using 106 megabytes of RAM right now. Your CPU is at 5% and your RAM is at 36. Now let's run the program. As the program runs, the first time it'll take about a minute and a half, minute and a half to move to the next session. Once it does that, every 30 seconds it'll show you the next session sequentially. They're all running at the same time, but they're being shown to you. If it wasn't for things like that, this interface would just sit there and not look like it was doing anything, because it doesn't need to do these things to work. The flashing lights are so you actually see the moment where the delivery is made. And these numbers here represent the numbers that are being generated by Cybershaman. But it's working so fast that these numbers can't capture all the numbers, so you're seeing maybe 1 out of every 100,000 of 100,000 numbers that are being generated. So again, that's just so that you can see it working. And the same is true about the graph. The graph has a more important purpose though. If you don't stare at it when you first turn it on, it will develop a pattern that fits the type of program it's running. The moment you focus on it, it will change. If you focus on it, it will change. I will do it now. It changes the general nature of the highs and lows, and you can see that there by me just looking at it. It's changed it. Now I'm going to again go away from it, and it returns to its normal type of frequency. This is a clear indicator of mind-machine interaction, or psychotronics. It was put there so that people can actually prove it to themselves. And when you click on menu the third time, you're brought to a secondary menu, which includes the exit button and a few other things like your get and save for the database, and your continuous for continuous running of the program. Send is the equivalent of go. Set is the most important button on that whole screen, because that is the button that you must click at the moment that you are envisioning the result of your program, so that the program can then capture your intent. When you load a preset, that occurs at the moment you click on the preset button that you selected. So you should be concentrating on the preset that you're actually loading when you click on it. And I suggest that people practice using the presets before they start writing their own programs, because it's important that you learn how to use the program, or you're going to become frustrated because there are so many features. We've only used a small subset of the features that are available to you, but you don't need to use all of the features. There are certain features you can change on the fly, like the geometric structure of the program. If you want to understand what that's about, you'll have to, maybe pick up Bruce Rawls' book on sacred geometry, and then you'll understand what these are about. I would pick a tetrahedron in this case as a shape. There are other things you can do, like run a binaural beat generator. There's also tools. You can select the core number for Cybershaman. This is something that you should do before you hit go, and this will determine a particular number that is a core number that Cybershaman will be utilizing. And if you study numerology or mathematical sequences, you'll recognize some of these. And at the bottom, 19.5 and 33 are numbers that are related to hyperdimensional type physics. I would suggest that you study up on some of that if you want to use it, and as well as other numbers that you may be interested in. Okay. There's Cybershaman running on demand. And down here you have the Wish Machine and the Magnetron. And you can run them at the same time or separately. The Wish Machine and the Magnetron are designed so that you formulate an intent and you click run. You determine how long it runs by putting a number down here. Here it's going to run once. That'll take a little bit of time, but it'll be relatively quick. You'll see a bar up here that will show you the there you go, the passing of time and from beginning to end. By changing some of these additional features, you can significantly change what's going on. I've just slowed it down a whole lot and made it a lot more precise by saying that it should do 360 cycles in between in other words, 360 calculations before it moves on to the next number and or position. And that's what it's doing right now. There are other things that you can click on that will change the nature of the program. If you click on the aspects, you'll see a table come up. I call it a pane. And there you can select the type of program that it is that you're running, with what it pertains to in your life. whether it's love or wisdom or material possessions. You can select these things here, but the point is that this should be easy and not have a whole lot of features, even though, you know, I can't help myself, so I always put a lot of features on everything. You can load sound on here, and you can change all of these features. And if you click on turbo, it'll actually speed things up quite a bit. So, there's turbo. And then now here, if we go down to something like 3 cycles, things will really speed up on the next number change, you will see. And now we're off to the races, and you'll see the color bath will be a much quicker event. There you go. So it must go through all the colors before it finishes one full cycle of delivery. Now this is a program that can be used to boost Cybershaman. It can be used along with Cybershaman. It can be used on its own, which is true about all of these programs. It's really about, you know, your preference in work and how many features you want to use. You know, if you are someone like me, you wind up using a whole lot of features because you understand pretty much what they're doing, and you've developed methodologies to use them over years of practice. You pretty much get a good idea of how you like to do things. But there are all 3 programs running at once. You're still not going to overwhelm the server. You can have another user on that server doing the same exact thing, and you won't notice him, he won't notice you. You'll never see any of your data, you'll never see any of their data. It's like being in 2 different computers. And that is Cybershaman on demand, folks. That's what it is. It's very reliable, very stable, very powerful, and an easy platform to adopt for programs like Cybershaman and the Magnetron, because they cut out the entire process of you having to install the program and become frustrated with instructions that, you know, you may not be computer literate enough to execute properly. And it's a lot easier this way, where everything is already set up for you. And then just a few rules you have to remember, like when you want to finish Cybershaman, go to the 3rd menu, pause the program, and exit gracefully. These are very powerful, complex programs, and they really should be stopped the proper way. Like that. Again here. It's already stopped, so we can exit. And now we're done. And so is the recording. To log out, well, we'll keep the recording going for another second. You just come up here, click on user, and you sign out. And you're done.